Congratulations and felicitations.
Okay, here comes the first round.
Boom. And
Jeez, that was just
boom.
unnecessary.
You kidding me? He can't be out of range? What?
Greetings and felicitations, YouTube. Welcome to the Hill of Despoina, where I recently, on my stream, played as Phthia against Dardania. I haven't done very much with Phthia. Phthia is not one of my favorite factions. I tend to view it and its hero, Achilles, as being overrated. But let's go into this battle, and there's a story to tell, so I'm going to let it go kind of slow here while I go over my units. I brought 4 renowned Phthyan spears. I brought a spear-fighting Myrmidon, 2 Aeginian runners, a Achaean slinger, and an armored giant spearman. My plan was to try and just take this hill as quickly as possible and get my cavalry force, which is pretty hefty. I brought 2 reinforced chariots, a centaur champion, and a defender companion for his healing abilities along with them. The plan was, Hill of Despoina, it's very difficult to use chariots here because you can see there's lots of trees to slow you down, and sometimes there's centaurs that you don't know hidden in those trees. And it takes you a long time to get all the way around the battlefield and behind your enemy's position. I had anticipated Dardania, my opponent, was going to come up this way and also go for the hill. He brought a very, very infantry-heavy army. When I saw this, I actually thought this was the whole army. I did not realize he had 2 Savage Centaur warriors and a Centaur champion hiding in the trees on the other flank. He brought an Archer Skirmisher hero and a chariot, which is a great unit to take when you're facing down against Phthia, because you'll need something that can kill elite infantry. He brought 4 heavy Anatolian swords and 1 Dardanian defender. This is like a perfect spend on the 4400 rule set for medium, or for heavy. Medium, he brought 2 Anatolian swords and 3 renowned Dardanian sworn fighters. I love these renowned Dardanian sworn fighters. He also brought a pair of Dardanian mobs. Now, as you can see here, as I make my initial play for the hill, I also see that there's this Archer Skirmisher hero out here. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my Aeginian runners out here to kind of catch some of that Archer hero's love, because I don't want him shooting my renowned Phthyan spears or my spear fighting Myrmidons. And sure enough, first blood, boom, 1 arrow, 3 kills, because that's just kind of how he rolls. I've already given the movement orders for my chariots. I realize he's kind of actually shifting more and more and more over to the right. This is shifted battle line, but using the entire battlefield. This is the largest shifted battle line I've seen here, and I'll kind of give you an idea. Here's that line of Dardanian soldiers, and it's causing me to move this way as he pushes out and towards me. And as I'm going this way, and as I'm bringing my forces this way and into the trees, my cavalry units are getting a little bit spread out and a little bit, slowed down. And the chariots in particular are very vulnerable here. And I still have no idea about these centaurs. No clue. So, as we get back into the battlefield here, as you can see, I did manage to get my Phthyan spears and my Myrmidons into the tree line. And then after I did that, I moved my Aeginian runners into the tree line. The trees themselves, though few and far between here, they will protect against the Archer Skirmisher's arrows. He stopped shooting at me temporarily, and look at this. My hero and the Centaur champions pass by the Savage Centaur warriors, enough, and then he's able to give his orders. He attacks, as he should, my chariots. Chariots still haven't reacted to this. I actually don't know what the movement here is. I get the sighted hidden units warning here about the Anatolian swords. I just go ahead. I'm going to charge my Aeginian runners to grab some Dardanian mobs. The runners are going to be good for killing cheap mobs. And it's at this stage I'm like, oh no, oh my god, there's cavalry out here. I 100% believed that I had just lost not only the chariots, but possibly the battle. I immediately turn around the champions and my hero around so I can try and bail out whatever I can here. And that's as the melee infantry engagement has begun. He's kind of wasting some of his Dardanian defender's ammo here. I use my giants to... I couldn't keep my giants hidden from the renowned Dardanian sworn fighters, so my giants are going to get absolutely beat up here. I turn my slingers around to start shooting at this. I charge with my Myrmidons. I throw as much available forces as I could. And I think it was the fact that it was the slingers shooting him. He decides to stop targeting my chariots and go after the slingers. And I couldn't have asked for a better purpose for slingers than to just die. Them dying here is so valuable to me. This is what I call Total War instincts. Your Total War instincts tells you, based on, years of playing previous Total War games, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here and talk directly to the camera for a second. Your Total War instincts tells you that the most important thing you can do is send your cavalry into the skirmish line. That's one of the most valuable things you can do in any Total War game. When you're playing battles, it's like, oh look, there's skirmishers there. They're unprotected. Let me get my cavalry into them. In this instance, it actually hurt my opponent, because those slingers, I could care less. They're only 280 funds. I brought them because I had less than 300 funds left over. What else am I going to buy with it? Another chariot for my hero? No. I just bought the Achaean slingers so that they could annoy the enemy. And they annoyed those centaurs just enough to get those centaurs to attack them and leave, look at this, about half of my chariots remaining. Actually, they still have all 12 models, but half their health is gone. I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure I had lost my chariots and the game, and he went ahead and he's going in here. He's actually gets his Savage Centaur Warrior through the slingers all the way into the back end of my Renowned Valiant Spears, trying to help win the melee engagement. And he's going to go ahead and do the same thing with Renowned Dardanian Sworn Fighters, but it also gave me the opportunity to let my Spearfighting Myrmidons chase the Savage Centaur Warriors and the Centaur Champions into the tree line and bring my Centaur Champions on through. I see an opportunity here. I might be able to catch this hero, so I'm going to go ahead and charge them. My own routing slingers slowed me down just enough. I did get a morale hit on him, but he's going to be able to escape this, so maybe I can get my Centaurs into the back of these Sworn Fighters. Maybe that will help. The Giant Armored Spearmen were one of my... I thought I was going to be dealing with more chariots in this battle from my opponent. And my opponent, as you can see, brought none. So I brought things like Armored Giant Spearmen, my Defender Companion hero, my own chariots, my own heavy cavalry, thinking that I would get the opportunity to take out their chariots and win. But here I am. As you can see now, look at what's left of his Centaurs. Centaur Champions are broken in routing. Savage Centaur Warriors broken in routing. Savage Centaur Warriors also broken in routing. And my Slingers, they've managed to be able to regroup here, and they're going to start shooting apart these routing Centaur units. Yeah, the champions do regroup there, and they're going to get out here, and they'd be very valuable if they got into this battlefield and maybe tried routing some of my Renowned Valiant Spears, or maybe break my Defender Companion's chariot. But what they're going to do? Total War instincts. They're going to turn around, target the undefended skirmishers. Again, I could care less. This is not a unit that I need in this battle. I need units like my Centaur Champions and my chariots. Meanwhile, I mentioned how hard it is to actually use chariots on this map. They're finally getting into the fight. I just got them into this Dardanian mob. This is something to bring chariots for. It is Dardanian mobs. And this unit chariots still trying to get caught up, still trying to get in here, trying to be useful. So now Valiant Spear is ready to get re-engaged into the battle. I have a lot of Renowned Dardanian Sworn Fighters I'm going to have to worry about. You see I've taken horrific casualties down my Renowned Valiant Spear line. My Centaur Champions managed to catch his Centaur Champions after they routed my Slingers. No big deal. This one bothered me to no end. I have my Armored Giant Spearmen on fire at will, and they just won't dispense their ammo at all. But, boom, big hit. This hero is in Danger City right here, with Giants on one side, and Giants are made for breaking chariots, and Centaur Champions on the other side. This guy is doomed here. My own hero, I'm trying to get him to provide as much of his girth and ability, and maybe even his morale buffing abilities to try and help out these spearfighting Myrmidons, but as you can tell, they're just dead. They're doomed. But they've already managed 127 kills and counting, and they've earned their XP. Looks like my hero's about to lose his chariot. As you can see, the Archer Skirmisher hero already lost his. It's not looking so terribly hot for me, even though the hero isn't as affected by the scrubs as actual chariots are. I'm very much stuck here. And as you can see, I'm running out of infantry quickly. The balance of power, I think, is being very, very kind to me here. My opponent still has a lot of infantry and a lot of options. I've got this Renowned Dardanian Sworn Fighter here. I'm going to go ahead and charge it with my Giant Armored Spearmen, because I don't really have good targets for the Giant Armored Spearmen to fight anymore. And they still just won't spend their javelins. They would have done so well if they could have used a couple of their javelins. There goes the last of my Myrmidons, and I'm at the stage now where I'm actually needing to charge my chariots into the scrub line. very much less than ideal, because as soon as I get them in there, I need to turn them around again. Centaur Champions also trying to get some value out of them. They're up to 82 kills, almost their second XP chevron. Reinforced Chariots have, have definitely earned their value. They are getting that that next rank of XP. Savage Centaur Warriors coming out here to try and deal with my Reinforced Chariots, but I'll take them in the field. This is actually okay by me, especially considering I have Centaur Champions nearby. So you're going to see these Savage Centaur Warriors get a little bit beat up here and removed from the field of play. You can see the red triangles just disappear one by one as they all die, and there they go. That's the end of them. So yeah, I've gotten 2 Chariots now into the field of battle, and what ended up happening anyway? My opponent took the hill. My opponent has the hill here. I'm activating my Aerostay so I can recover as much health as I can on my hero, and also so I can get his second healing ability in, because I recognize this is going into round 2, and there's still heavy infantry and renowned Dardanian sworn fighters that I have to clear out of here. So this is going to take a hot second. So what do? I'm going to go ahead and gather my forces. In the tournament that is happening this weekend, what I'm doing right now, probably definitely not legal. You have to be actively engaged with your units at any given time. So neither of us right now are doing something illegal. At least one of our units has to be on an attack order. What I should have done, I probably just could have taken these Renowned Flying Spears, YOLO'd them out there, and he could have taken one of his Sworn Fighters or his Anatolian Swords and YOLO'd them out at me. But there we go. I finally activated my Favor of Asclepius. It's gotten a heal out for most of these guys. I moved the Giants up so that they can eat some Javelins. And I'm kind of trying to position my forces, in the right spots. In the meantime, a heavy Anatolian Sword and a regular Anatolian Sword did rout from this. I'm going to go ahead and get in here with my Giants and the Defender Companion first. I don't know where his forces are. And then just like that, a couple more of them break. They're intimidated by the Giants and the stronger foes nearby. Finally, my Giants decide to throw some Javelins, but little good it'll do. These targets aren't really the best for it. I'm going to move in my Renowned Flying Spears. I'm leaving my Chariots behind. I'm going to sweep through with my Centaurs here. I see the Dardanian Defenders. They're the strongest opponent I still have left to face. My Giants get outflanked by Renowned Dardanian Sworn Fighters, and as you can see, they're winning this battle, this engagement. My Giants are getting beat up. And there goes my Giants. They're shattered. But I do get the Renowned Flying Spears in here in turtle mode. I'm charging in now with my Chariots. I decide these medium infantry are the best chance I have at breaking something down. The Dardanian Defenders look like they're going to come back here and try and help defeat my Defender Companion. My opponent was wise to send the heavy Anatolian Swordsman after my Defender Companion hero. Swords melee infantry units are oftentimes the best thing you can use to bog down and defeat a enemy hero. But as you can see, even fighting as hampered as we are with a melee defense of 6 on my Reinforced Chariots, they're doing just fine because we have the support of the Renowned Flying Spears. Their bodies are getting in the way here, and the Renowned Dardanian Sworn Fighters are going to start breaking. The heavy Anatolian Swordsmen have come back. They're getting back in here. My hero is getting really beat up in here. And my Centaur Champions are also having a hard time, but the Dardanian Defenders are just too exhausted to be able to hold out. And as you can see, my Reinforced Chariots are trying to find other engagements they can get into here. There's a shattered heavy Anatolian Sword. Victory is close enough to taste, and there you see it. The shatter is starting to go through. Army losses. Boom. It was just really unfortunate for my enemy that army losses affected him before they affected me. That was a really, really close-fought battle, and one I thought I had lost a long time ago. And I won it because I still had my Chariots in the end. One mistake. Sometimes all it boils down to is one mistake. I thought I made that mistake, but it turned out to be my opponent. Let's look at the statistics. Good game, Suck 2256. I'm really looking forward to your performance in the tournament this weekend. I think you're a really, really strong player, and I'd love to see what you can pull off. As you can see, I managed 113 kills with Centaur Champions and more than 170 kills with my 2 Chariots, both of them earning XP chevrons. The Savage Centaur Warriors, 52 kills, no XP, 53 kills on the Centaur Champions, 1 XP. So, as you can see, I was able to get more value out of my 1 Centaur Champion than his 3 Centaur units, and then a lot of that has to do with targeting. My poor Renowned Flying Spears, even though 3 of them picked up XP and 3 of them managed triple-digit kills, we are talking about Dardania, I was basically outnumbered 2-1 in this engagement. So I had a lot of work to do with the units I had left. The fact that my reinforced chariots did not lose a single model when those centaurs caught me in the woods blows my mind. Blows my mind. And it's because he abandoned that attack too soon. I was quick to respond. You saw me. I did get the Myrmidons out there. I got the Achaean Slingers retargeting. But 2 kills, and they were shattered. This is why you bring Achaean Slingers. For the same reason that Dardania is bringing Dardanian mobs and rabble. Alright? That is what they are. They are expendable. That is what they are meant to do, is to die. And I couldn't have been prouder of them. And this is why I'm serious when I say this. This is why I think that the Achaean Slinger is the best skirmish unit in the game. Okay? Alright. Anyway, ta-ta. I love you all. I'll see you guys in my next video. And I'll see you in the tournament this Saturday and Sunday. Have a good one.